Have you ever wondered what the rarest and most valuable comic books are, and just how much they've sold for? Well, you're in for a treat. From superheroes' first appearances to world-changing events in comic book history, these comics have fetched jaw-dropping prices. Let's count down the top 10 highest dollar comic book sales, leading up to the most expensive comic of all time. Buckle up because this is about to get epic. At number 10, we have X-Men #1. Released in 1963, this issue marks the debut of the original X-Men team, featuring iconic characters like Cyclops, Beast, Angel, and Iceman, all under the guidance of Professor X. The villain? None other than Magneto, the mutant master of magnetism. In 2021, a near-mint CGC 9.6 copy of this legendary comic sold for an impressive $807,300 at auction. This was the start of a franchise that would go on to define generations of mutant stories and superhero drama. Coming in at number 9 is All-Star Comics #8. Published in 1941, this comic introduced one of the most powerful and beloved characters in comic book history, Wonder Woman. It's the story of her origin on Paradise Island and how she comes to the world of men as an ambassador of peace and justice. In 2022, a CGC 9.4 graded copy of All-Star Comics #8 sold for a stunning $1.62 million. This issue isn't just a milestone for Wonder Woman fans, it's a piece of feminist history in comics. At number 8, we've got Detective Comics #27. This is where it all started for Batman, released in 1939. This comic features the first appearance of Bruce Wayne as Batman, Gotham's Dark Knight detective. The issue sets the tone for the gritty, noir world that Batman would come to define. In 2020, a CGC 7.0 copy sold for $1.74 million. Owning this book is like having the cornerstone of the Batman mythos. Number 7 is Tales of Suspense #39. This 1963 comic introduced the genius billionaire inventor Tony Stark, better known as Iron Man. The plot follows Stark's capture by enemy forces and the creation of his first Iron Man suit, setting him on his journey to becoming a superhero. In 2023, a CGC 9.6 graded copy of this book sold for an impressive $2 million. This issue represents the birth of one of Marvel's most popular heroes, especially after the Iron Man film catapulted him to global fame. At number 6, we have Batman #1. Published in 1940, this issue gave us the first appearances of two iconic villains, the Joker and Catwoman. The Joker's debut in particular set the stage for the twisted, unpredictable villain he'd become, while Catwoman brought a complicated, alluring dynamic to Batman's world. In 2021, a pristine CGC 9.4 copy of Batman #1 sold for $2.22 million. This book is one of the most coveted treasures for Batman collectors. Number 5 is Marvel Comics #1. Released in 1939, this is where it all began for the Marvel Universe. It features the first appearances of characters like the Human Torch and Namor the Submariner. The stories inside laid the groundwork for decades of Marvel adventures. In 2022, a CGC 9.2 copy sold for $2.4 million. This issue holds a special place as the genesis of the Marvel Empire. Coming in at number 4 is Captain America Comics #1. Published in 1941, this issue introduced Steve Rogers as Captain America, the patriotic super soldier who would lead the fight against the Axis powers during World War II. The iconic cover shows Cap punching Hitler, a striking image that captured the wartime spirit. In 2022, a CGC 9.4 copy sold for an astounding $3.12 million. Captain America remains one of the most enduring and symbolic characters in American pop culture. At number 3 is Action Comics #1, the one that started it all for Superman and arguably for superheroes as a whole. Published in 1938, this comic introduced the world to Clark Kent, his superhuman powers, and his never-ending battle for truth. In 2021, a CGC 8.5 graded copy of this iconic comic sold for $3.25 million. It's the comic book equivalent of a holy grail for collectors. Number 2 is Amazing Fantasy #15. Published in 1962, this comic introduced Spider-Man to the world. Peter Parker, a teenager gifted with spider-like abilities, would go on to become one of the most beloved and relatable superheroes in comic history. In 2021, a near-mint CGC 9.6 graded copy sold for $3.6 million. Spider-Man's debut remains one of the most important moments in comic book history. And finally, at number 1, we have Superman #1. This 1939 comic marks Superman's first solo series after his debut in Action Comics #1. It delves deeper into his origin story, cementing his place as the archetypal superhero. In 2022, a CGC 8.0 copy of Superman #1 sold in a private sale for an astounding $5.3 million. This comic is the crown jewel of the comic book world, and rightfully so, given its profound impact on the superhero genre. And there you have it, the top 10 most expensive comic books ever sold, each one a piece of history worth millions. From Superman's humble beginnings to Spider-Man's thrilling debut, these comics have shaped pop culture and the superhero landscape as we know it. If you enjoyed this countdown, hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into the world of comics. Who knows, maybe the next record-breaking sale is just around the corner.